Scorpio, my darlings, let's dive straight into your reading. I have pulled a Celtic spread and it's so juicy, I already started diving in with another layer of tarot. And I was like, wait, let me get on the line straight away, because I couldn't understand if there was a third party relationship happening here where there was another woman, right? There's two women and a masculine, or if that was just another woman presenting two sides to this woman. And it was fascinating and I was really, really excited. And then I realised, whoa, calm down. Let Scorpio in on the news. I'm connecting with a Scorpio who is divulging more than ever before. And this is energetically, and I want to cry a little bit, which is so weird because I say that all the time with Scorpio readings. And I just love sitting in the channel of the Scorpio vibration and just doing the read. Symbolic energy. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Let me use my clear senses here to tell you what I see. And I love doing that across the zodiacs because it's so liberatory for me. It really helps me use my gifts and just kind of embrace spirit. How does the world work? What is this? Am I reading correctly? Am I not? Does it resonate? Does it not? Hit like, share more in the comments, you know? But with that, let me catch you up. I'm connecting with a Scorpio who has had a lot going on emotionally, related to a loving connection. And this connection has two faces, because not only is there an Empress and an Emperor, there's a Queen of Wands and a King of Cups. It's showing me the layering. Once again, we're talking about that onion. So many layers to this love. So many layers to this relationship. So many layers to you and so many layers to them. It's the unveiling. It's the undressing. This is sexy. Because what I'm getting is the first steps of this for so many of you guys in regards to the first time you undress, the first time you see each other naked, the first time you touch, the first time you kiss, there's so many firsts you haven't had yet. This could be your first. That's the thing. I want to say this could be your first, but what do I mean by that? I've just given you 100 examples. Of course this is your first, but your first what? But it feels like the big first. Maybe you're thirsty for this as well. Incredibly thirsty. The pair of you. First card, 7 of Cups. There's first here, okay? Followed by the 10 of Cups. How beautiful is that? When we see the 7 of Cups, we talk about a lot going on in the mind space, a lot of emotions, a lot of heaviness, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of contemplation. With the 10 of Cups, it's about that happy home, that dream, that fulfillment, that wish, that satisfaction. If you haven't looked at your forecast for the year on this channel, your tarot forecast, including every single month, for Scorpio, it's the year of satisfaction. It's gorgeous because it's talking to me lengthily about what it means for you to be satisfied, yeah? Fun, pleasure, enjoyment, home, hearth, holidays, strolls along the boardwalk. In my head I'm getting songs that you share, places that you eat at, walks that you take, canals that you walk along, rivers, you know, the children that you share or carry. I want to say the children that you carry. So take that. That's a weird thing to say. That's giving me the way in which you actually carry your children, like in specific kind of holders and stuff like that. There's a lot that's coming to me about carrying children. So a little bit of car seats and stuff like that, yeah, which is weird to me. But more importantly, because it's giving me like maybe blended families even. So you've got your own children, you're bringing them together. So you've got a car and you're meeting up to make plans so all your kids can fit in the car. And it's giving me like a big car, American kind of Jeep style car, when you need the right kind of seats for the kids to fit in, yeah. And it's really, really cute because it's like he needs this car seat. And she's like, well, my one needs this car seat. So it could be a blended family we're talking about here, which is really got to be difficult sometimes to get to that point where you're willing to meet each other's kids and stuff, which is cute. Yeah, that's not for all of you, but that is a very specific message there. But it's watching your children grow up. This could be even someone looking at their grandkids coming of age, looking at their daughter getting married. So as I go into this love story, I'm connecting with potentially a Scorpio who the love story I'm telling you is about your kids. Yeah? It's about two people that you love coming together. Like, in my head I wanted to say your neighbours getting married. Really weird thing to say. I'm getting a lot of visions. I'm trying to pull back from too many of them, but there's this witness energy. You're witnessing something really, really beautiful, and it's giving you a lot of faith, because back of the mind, King of Swords, front of the mind, Eight of Wands. You wouldn't really speak on this. You wouldn't really listen to this. You wouldn't really entertain this. You wouldn't really give to this, because the King of Swords is your standing vibration. That's your neutral. That's your natural center point. You wouldn't really indulge. You wouldn't really overgive. I'm now looking at the butterfly in reverse on the Rider-Waite Tarot. I've never really acknowledged the King of Swords sits on a throne with the butterfly in reverse above his head, carved into his chair. First time I've ever seen that in all the years I've read tarot. You're seeing things very differently. For me, that butterfly in reverse gives me a little bit like Star of David in reverse, which is a bad thing. But in this sense, it means the total opposite. Star of David, if you're really spiritual and light, we love it, right? Chakras and alignment, we love it. That in reverse screams devil, right? So it's the butterfly in reverse over here is screaming a very different journey. And it's not about dark or light or devil energy, nothing of the sort, but it's your ideology of what was darkness to you, right? Because the butterfly upright is flying and blossoming. And I think that this King of Swords has had a real lack of I want to say frolicking. There's a clip I saw of Will Smith frolicking, right? And he was like, do you frolic? Do black men frolic? Are we allowed to frolic? And it's literally the ideology of skipping merrily through a field and spinning around with daisies in your hair and dancing and just being free. Oh, frolicking in the sun, basking in the glorious day, right? The King of Swords don't frolic. What do you take me for? No, I'm not a fucking frolicker, right? But that's a limitation to the King of Swords, because he is the butterfly in reverse. Always cocooned, never quite out there flapping his wings, never seeing the world from a lighter, more ethereal perspective. Really, really shrewd, rude, stubborn. And he's got the butterfly on his chest. I've never looked at the King of Swords in my life, it feels like. The King of Swords in the standard Rider-Waite Tarot has a butterfly in the middle of his chest, which is red and white. So he's claiming to be flourishing and bright and grounded, but the butterfly carved into his throne behind him suggests completely the opposite. And that's what's changing here. With the Eight of Wands at the front of the mind, real conversations coming in. Real conversations coming in that is making this masculine awakened. Purple shoes, purple robe. Third eye activation. Nine of Swords in the past. This first eye activation wasn't even remotely possible. I want to say first again as well. When I was saying third eye, I wanted to come out first. Nine of Swords, Page of Swords. Nine of Swords in the past, Page of Swords in the future. Real worry about being seen, about perception, about looking thirsty, about being too thirsty, about frolicking in real life, like doing things that are seen as not cool. The most attractive people in life are the ones that are just doing what they want to do and not trying to be cool. They're the free spirits of this world. Frolicking is cute. It's cool. I am a frolicker, but I can't believe we're having a frolicking conversation today either. I'm confused. But it is what it is. It's the freedom of it all. It's the real men frolic, I think is what Will Smith said. The real men frolic. The black men frolic. Are we allowed to frolic? And he was like, I'm going to frolic. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to frolic. No, I'm not. I can't do it. I need to see another black man frolic first. I can't frolic. Spin around and skip. And have a Sound of Music moment. Pick the daisies. Dance around. And that's the ego as well, telling masculine that they are not allowed to have a feminine way about them. And it's so limiting and begrudging of the sense of self, because masculine need feminine vibration and feminine need masculine vibration, and selling yourself short of that and then looking for a partner who exudes all the stuff that you lack is just not the way, you know? I've just done a Pisces reading, and if you've got time, go and listen to the Pisces story. I did tell everyone in it, this is a lesson to be learnt about love and relationships, because a Pisces potentially in a relationship for 20 years, their relationship crumbled because one person decided to be subservient in that relationship and give everything to the masculine and never evolved beyond their solar plexus chakra, whilst they watched their partner and supported their partner activate their third eye chakra. And that partner ended up leaving them, and they're going through heartbreak because they didn't evolve with their partner. They gave everything they had to make sure their partner could evolve to their third eye. And the moment their partner evolved to the third eye and could see, they fucked off. It left them. Because in that whole time, you've only worked on your solar plexus. And that person's now been shorted because they should be able to flourish too like their husband or their lover or their partner. But no. They gave too much to their love instead of themselves. And that's a deep fucking lesson to learn. And why a lot of relationships end. Because if you've got to evolve at the same rate as your lover. You've got to be willing to evolve. And it's the lack of evolution that will catch up with the connection. And that's when things start getting low, boring, dry, blah, blah, blah. It's just, and then someone breaks eventually, especially when you have a third eye awakening. And you look at your reality in your life, and the person that you've been with for all these years ain't evolved once. They could have been helping you evolve every day, dedicated their life to help you evolve, but they ain't evolved. You're going to find lackluster in the connection with them. No matter how much you love them or did love them, you can't avoid third eye activation. Yeah? The Lover's card is here as well, and the Hierophant. And then the Wheel of Fortune I want to bring out on top of that as well. Ow. And I want to bring out the Seven of Swords. We're going to go here, but give me a second, because as I told you at the beginning, I already pulled the Empress, put the Ace of Wands on top of her, then I already pulled the Emperor, and I put the Queen of Wands on top of him. So, in regards to the Empress, the feminine in this situation, brand new beginning. Massive acceleration in life, in career, money, mental health, wealth, education. So, I want to say citizenship, because I want to see someone traveling to new heights and awakening new doorways, thresholds, portals. But that also gives me airport energy and visas and bureau checks. Don't ask me, but that's what I get, okay? Bear in mind, the Emperor is focused on beauty. He's not only focused on his beauty, but he's focused on the beauty of the feminine. Because I feel like there's an element here. I'm getting clarity on it. 10 of Swords, 9 of Wands. There's this element of fear around betrayal. and abandonment. I think the Pisces reading is also for you. If you are dealing with the Pisces Scorpio as well, nail on the head, go and watch it. It may not be your story specifically, but the life lesson in it and the moral of the story really significant, because the masculine is giving me, he has fears or insecurities around the betrayal and abandonment, avoidant, non-negotiables around beauty, standards. The Queen of Wands is about how you show up, really, isn't it? It's about being really sexy and beautiful. When you think of Queen of Wands, you think a little bit of like Bella Hadid, you think a little bit of like Kim Kardashian, you think of everyone living by a social standard that is so, I want to say obtuse, but that's not what I want to say, really. It's contempt, yeah? What I receive with the King of Cups that was at the bottom of the deck up here is the contempt of disaster in conformity, disaster in a standard that's unattainable, disaster in trying to be too much, you know, because there's this air of elegance and grace that crashes and burns. The Pisces reading, similar energy. It was someone's evolving. The masculine's evolving and he's eating lobster and steak, but he comes home and all you can make is spaghetti bolognese and cheese sandwiches or egg sandwiches. He loves your sandwiches. He's loved them all his life, but he's at the point now where when you're not around because you're not out evolving with him and he's out evolving, mingling, mixing, networking, he's eating all of this lovely food of a higher quality and caliber that he's not feeling fulfilled by what you provide. The Emperor over here is giving me an awareness of that, but in a polarity. So it's nice to see a shift in masculine and feminine energy, because this is giving me the polarity of that, and it's going, the masculine isn't trying to be consumed by that reality. We're looking at a grounded masculine who doesn't care for the lobster and steak. Whereas in the Pisces reading, the masculine was for the lobster and steak, and he left his woman because he don't want cheese sandwiches anymore. And he's sick of that lower material life. I said he's a little bit more ego-driven and it's going to come back to bite him in the arse in the future. Go and watch that, guys, seriously. But in this one, the story's different because the masculine is going, no, I'm not trying to go down a route where it all ends in disaster over cheese sandwiches versus lobster and steak. The metaphors here, guys, God knows if you understand what I'm talking about today. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit me in the comments, because it is a real conversation of that. Whereas the feminine in this story, 6 of Swords, 6 of Wands, she's just moving on up. She's just moving on up into a life, into a realm, into a era. Devil card coming out with that as well. That is incredibly toxic. Yeah? The toxicity in this realm that is hitting the feminine eventually is the realm that the masculine's already been in. That's why he has King of Cups. In the After Tarot, really incredibly unfulfilled, really, really disappointed, really, really let down by others, really, really let down by materialistic women, really, really left out in the cold because of how he dresses, how he appears, how he shows up. Some people don't care for the fame, the glitz and glamour, right? And in my head, I always use the example lately of Ed Sheeran not using devices and only emailing people back once a week, and he's disconnected from the world. I get that energy, okay? I get someone who's incredibly disconnected, someone who is low on social engagement, maybe not even on social media, full stop, doesn't really post on socials, not really out there, but this person's an emperor, so they're powerful in some regard, and this empress is powerful. She's moving into a new haven, a new heaven, a new way of living, but for me it gives me public eye and media and stuff because of this empress could be pregnant with your child. This empress could be simply moving into your house. This empress could simply be coming around your social group and friendship group, and you know the toxicity of your friendship group. You know the struggles and burdens of what it means to settle down and have a child, so that's going to be stressful. You know that you don't have the best traits or habits, and this person's going to learn all about them. The little quirks and little things you do that could be seen as annoying or embarrassing or cringy. There is nowhere to hide for the masculine and the feminine moving forward. And fear of betrayal, fear of abandonment, fear of being blocked, fear of being outed and seen in a way in which isn't the highest vibe for you, right? Because when I say outed, it's like someone who's spent a long time avoiding judgment. With the King of Swords here, yeah, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be told anything negative. It's easier to live a life that is comfortable. The Pisces reading is incredibly aligned to this. In the Pisces reading at the beginning, I spoke about someone who had only ever made it to their solar plexus chakra, never worked on more. And they were so obnoxious about having a stable root chakra and applying for jobs and having a qualification that made them great at what they do, but they haven't studied anything else for 20 years. And I said, you don't need a qualification. You don't need to be incredibly smart. I've only got a bachelor's degree. And it is what it is. And sometimes you'll get through certain doors. Sometimes you won't get through other doors. Sometimes people see your gifts and abilities. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes people think they're better than they are. I say I read tarot all the time. But if I haven't got a massive collective watching it back, telling me if I'm on point or not, I don't really know that. So I can gas myself up going, I'm the greatest tarot reader in the world. But that isn't confirmed. You know? But we try, we practice, we keep going, we read, we study, we learn in any way we can. And that's what it's about, learning. And it's about not being embarrassed. And it's not even embarrassment. Fearful, stubborn about being perceived to be less than great. Because you can only be great when you allow yourself to be judged. And if you stay stuck, rooted on your root chakra, I'm not going to budge on anything else because my root chakra can't be moved, then you're never going to get to your third eye. You're never going to make it up the rung of chakras if you choose to stay where you're at. A comfort zone is a dirty place. And the Empress in this story is flourishing. She's moving through elements and she's fearless and bold and she's embracing new life in so many different ways. And that, like, even if it's not a visa and citizenship, it's definitely travel to other realms energetically. It's definitely, well, she's definitely got her passport for the third eye chakra. She's definitely got her visa for the crown chakra, right? Whereas I'm looking at a masculine here who hasn't yet applied for a third eye visa. He's still waiting to see if his crown chakra application has been approved. And that's intimidating because what if I don't get my crown chakra? What if I don't get my third eye chakra? What if my throat chakra doesn't work that day? Right? And that's the insecurity and the armor that's kind of been around the King of Swords, because I'm safe here where everyone thinks I'm the king. But everyone thinks you're the king because you give off King of Swords energy. No one's going to challenge the King of Swords who is stubborn on the throne with a butterfly in reverse. You know? They're just going to shut up and let you be. And your worry transcends. And it transcends how people see you and how you're being viewed. So it's incredibly important to be able to move and groove and frolic. That's why we're talking about frolicking. Go with the flow and run and skip and be weaker and be seen as less than. Because it's in those moments that you rise. I just saw a post from Jensen Hang who said, I hope you suffer. And I would not say that to you because I think that's painful. I don't hope you suffer. I don't hope anyone suffers. I've suffered enough. I would never wish suffering on anyone. But I couldn't believe that Jensen said that. And Sadhguru said something very similar this week as well. He said, I hope your wishes don't come true. I said, what is everyone going through? Sadhguru is out here telling people he hopes their wishes don't come true. And Jensen is telling people, I hope you suffer. And I understand exactly what they're implying and why it's so important. Because I wouldn't be here today without suffering. We are nothing without suffering. And Sadhguru had an incredible point, but I still said, Sadhguru, how rude! You're so rude, Sadhguru. Don't do that. I'm manifesting. You hope my dreams don't come true. Because he said, no. You're dreaming wrong. And there's a fine line between spiritual awakening and spiritual ignorance and enlightenment. You know, there is a book about that in the description. Go and check that. That book is key, guys. I use it as a reference point all the time. Look in my community posts and look at the book in there. The Spiritual Ignorance book. It's really important. It's a light book. I always suggest it. That's what you're going through. But this is connected to a love and a connection and a romance. And if it isn't, which is a bit late, 26 minutes in the video to backtrack on that. But if it isn't, it's about your masculine and feminine senses. It's always about your masculine and feminine sides of self. And how that projects outwards and attracts or detracts. What's the right word for that? Repels a lover, the other, from coming into your force field. Because there is a beautiful connection here. Masculine and feminine, empress and empress, beautiful. It's about finding the one that you want, that you feel destined to be with. The outcome is the emperor, so that's where you're going. But hopes and fears next to you is the empress. So there is someone, a woman in your mind, someone that you see, someone that you want to see, someone that you want to say conjure, manifest, bring into your reality what you're hoping for, what you see potential in. And in order for that to manifest, in order for you to take that relationship to the next level, these little kinks need to be worked out. Because it looks like there's a masculine here who's being taken out of his comfort zone, and a really powerful woman who is coming in to set the stage. And for me, a lot of this could be pregnancy. Simple as you've had a girlfriend for ages and ages. She's now pregnant and you didn't tell anyone about her. She's now coming into your life, into your home, meeting your family and friends. She's pregnant. She's going to live with you. She's going to see all your bad habits. Farting, burping, smelling your poo, you not flushing the toilet, pissing on the toilet seat, the annoying habits, your smells, and every little nook and cranny of you and your existence is now aligned to this person. And not only that, there's a new birth, a child, right? And you're going to have to be open to seeing each other. And to be honest, if I am connecting with a masculine here, I think the feminine is more insecure of being seen in all of those lights than you are. But you're looking at it head on, like that's the next issue now, is the full-on awareness of seeing everything for what it is. Whereas the feminine's kind of neglected even looking at that to a certain degree. Or isn't even focused on that because she's got a lot more foresight. She's looking a lot further into the future, looking at a lot more dimensions of this situation than the masculine. The masculine appears to be a lot more material in regards to time and grounding things in the 3D and the immediate, whereas the feminine is more of a I want to say long haul flight, right? I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to say the feminine is on a long haul flight, and the masculine is taking really short trips. And as a result of that, they're both getting to the same place, but at different times. I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't know why I'm saying it. I've spoken about visas, passports, and flying, and the feminine flying for a longer window of time. But they're all ending up at the same destination, and it is really, really gorgeous. And there's a lot of journeying to go on, and it's the confidence to do so. And I'm going to stop umming because I'm done now. And it's just weird because just like the Pisces reading, there's so much I want to say that I'm not finished here. But I have to be, because we're 20 minutes over time. These are meant to be 10-minute readings, you right? But it's because the Seven of Cups is sitting here with me, and it's showing me so much more in your mind here. It's not me going, I'm not done. It's you going, there's so much more to this conversation. There's so much more in my mind. There's so many more elements to discuss. There's so much more to think about. There's so much more I'm feeling. So I'm going to suggest what I said to the Pisces and say, I may be back with a guided reading, or I may be back with a channeled message over on her 7D consciousness. So tap into both of those channels, make sure you've hit the bell, and there will be extra content coming out to support the Scorpio and anyone else across the zodiac who may need it this week, okay? So stay peeled for that, guys. Love and light.